Friends, I hope you are well. Thank you for clicking on the video. I want to talk about D-Wave. I want to talk about APLD. You know who it is. Just a quick little video update. What happened this week with these stocks? And I want to talk about this one thing. This is crazy what I'm about to say, but this analyst just raised their stock price on D-Wave here, Qbts. They raised it to $22. What? Oh my God, we're gonna get into it. So, friends, I hope you are well. I want to talk about these two stocks. Before I talk about Applied Digital, let's go right into D-Wave here, Quantum, and let's knick-knack, paddywhack this thing out here, friends. So, I have spoke highly on this where I think there is a bright future for D-Wave here. Absolutely. This stock is holding position very well. Quarterlies came out here not long ago. They were better than expected. They still had it wasn't as big as the last one, but nonetheless, it was still a good quarterly. Things hit the right where they were supposed to. Now, like I said here, at the beginning of the year, this analyst came out here and they're still pushing this 100%, but they think, and I'm not saying this is not going to happen. I think D-Wave is going to do very well here. I think it's going to be a very good stock. I just don't know that it's found its place in the hype of the market yet. I think quantum computing hasn't found a place yet in the market with like a lot of investors. I think a lot of people look at quantum computing and they go like, I don't want to get into that right now. But an analyst has come out and said, like, hey, they believe this is going to be a $22 stock. They raised their price target on it. I don't think that's that crazy if we could see the market pick up steam here. I mean, this stock has already ran into some pretty big numbers here, obviously, so it's not that big of a deal. But, for it to sustain those numbers, that's what I'm very curious to wonder if it can, because obviously we were at this $18 position here not long ago, touching almost 19, but being in the 20s, okay, that's very interesting. So what I'm seeing right now is that this is going to be a long love life with this company right now, to where you're looking at this company who is very much a futuristic looking company. I mean, this goes all the way into conversation of like crypto even. I mean, it gets very, when we talk about quantum computing, what it is, internet, all that kind of stuff. I'm not even really trying to talk about that because I am not the person to explain quantum computing. Let me tell you that right now. But what I am saying, as an investor, I look for opportunities, young opportunities, okay? I want to get to things before the mass gets here, okay? That's why I love talking about stocks that maybe some people look at and they go like, I'm not messing with that. That's fine. But right now, what I'm very shocked about is that this company is surviving at a very, very good pace. Even with the market right now having, had a very good week this week, had a very good, we dealt with the NVIDIA earnings, the PC, inflation report, we had the market in lower here Friday, but still, a lot of stocks are very high right now. Even the S&P 500 is still very high and broke record again here this week. But with that, D-Wave here is surviving. It's doing very well. I think this stock at this moment here is going to continue into this price point. This is going to be a $15, $18 stock here unless we see some devastation in the market. The problem is that we're not seeing devastation show up in the market here. Does that make sense? Because we're going into September, and I think a lot of us are pretty much on the same page investor-wise, where we look at this and we go, this could be a situation where maybe we're going to get a rate cut. Maybe we're going to get rate cuts. I mean, I think everyone's sick of hearing me say that. Everyone else is saying it. It's just the situation. But if that happens, the overall market's going to do dramatic numbers. I mean, the North American stock market here in the United States is going to do parabolic numbers, breaking history. I mean, this will be 2025 undoubtedly is already being a record-breaking year in the stock market, but it could get crazier here. This could be, for volume, everything that's happened, fast-paced moving, this could really be a transformative year in the market right now. And there's going to be stocks that are doing not so great, they're going to survive, but stocks that are like doing they're doing pretty good. They've got a fan base. They've got a cult base attached to them. D-Wave, Applied Digital, these stocks they're holding ground. They're doing well. There's a core group of investors that are wanting to stick with these stocks. But D-Wave here, I think it's gonna continue to do well here. Undoubtedly, it's showing that. Since we've had this push up here in May with this stock touching 19, playing around this $19, $14 range here, maybe that $22 range is not that crazy. It sounds crazy to say, but I somewhat look at this stock as I do 20'S. Does that make sense? Let me explain. I look at 20'S and I go, obviously we don't have Nancy Pelosi behind this, but if we did, that'd be amazing. But, I look at 20'S and I go like, there's so much anticipation behind that company, that stock, where people are just like, I'll buy it no matter what. I look at D-Wave here and I go like, I think a lot of people that are buying D-Wave, I think a lot of us are going, you know what? I don't know what this is going to look like in 5 years, but if quantum computing finds a place in the market where we find ourselves maybe next year, the theme of the market is quantum computing stocks. Well, guess what? I'm already in, okay? I don't have to sit here and worry about, oh my God, I got to find my place in line. I'm already there. I've already bought into D-Wave here, so I'm going to sit here and wait this out. I'm whether this works out or not, I'm willing to take the risk that I have found a little honey hole here with D-Wave. It's already paid off with people immensely. I mean, I was talking about the stock at the beginning of the year when it's $5, $6. At the beginning of the year, I was yapping my mouth like this is going to be a $10 stock. Well, we went to $10 and then we kept going. So, and obviously too, there was that huge freaking quarterly that happened in this year too. So D-Wave here undoubtedly has found a place in the market, and I'm very curious to see what it continued to push into here. So, yeah, friends, I just it's really just a conversation of being more shocked of how well this stock is doing, in that it's continuing to do what it's do. I think the last time I talked about D-Wave here, the CEO actually gave an interview here talking about what they are doing with D-Wave, what they expect it to do. Once again, I love when CEOs talk, even if it doesn't go well, they need to talk. I mean, they need to talk about their product, about their company. People want to know. Very much so. So with that, let's go right into Applied Digital. Applied Digital is another, just very much this new transformable stock opportunity place we find ourselves in the market, where we look at these companies that are just bringing in immense amount of money. Now, I don't want to go into the genesis of what Applied Digital is. I want to talk about the stock price, and this stock is getting expensive, and I don't think it's going to go down. I look at Applied Digital, and I think that Applied Digital can run faster here than, say, D-Wave, because I just, as an investor, like I said, I try to see what is the topic in people's heads right now with investors, and what I think a lot of us are hearing, and even on TV and things like this, when they talk about, what the future is of the market, databases are being talked about so much right now. I mean, they are being talked about. So I look at Applied Digital and I go, the company's been doing very well financially. The quarterlies have been up and down. If you're looking at quarterly chart here, they've been up and down. But the one thing that is true about this stock right now, this company, is that they've been making more money than they have even last year. It's been doing very well here, and they're building right now. I mean, the company is still building facility here. It's very much a moving progress right now. And, there's even analysts out here saying that they believe that the stock is going to $20. There's people putting it at $20. I don't think that is crazy whatsoever. I somewhat do think that Applied Digital is going to $20 here. I really do. I'm drinking the juice pretty heavy on Applied Digital. So, we've done well on Applied Digital. I think I first started talking about Applied Digital when it was like, I don't know. I don't remember what it was. Can somebody tell me? I think when we're here like $9, $10, and I was like, I think it's going to go to 12, 15. Well, we're here. I think 20 is very possible sooner than we think. I think, like I said, going back to the conversation of September, I think there's a very real possibility that September is going to bring a lot of new highs with these small cap companies, stocks here, like, D-Wave, Applied Digital. I think even companies that are kind of struggling, stocks that are struggling, like even like, something like Big Bear, been taking so much grief. Big Bear can maybe gain some ground here going to September, because the overall market is going to be euphoric. People are going to be like, oh my God, this is amazing. So I somewhat look at like what we went through Friday, and maybe next week, if we see a red day or two, this is going to be, 2-3 weeks from now, we could be looking at a ridiculous market if we get these rate cuts. I mean, things are going to go stupid high. They're going to go, it's going to be stupid how expensive things are going to get. I really do believe that. So, friends, whether you're in this for the long term, you're swinging it, whatever you're doing, listen, we've done well with Applied Digital. We've done well with both these stocks. I mean, this has been really good. But I look at the broad view of the market right now as a ship. In the broad view of the course of where the market is going right now, the market is going in towards tech, 100%. Like, that is where the market is focused. So everything attached to that is on board, and it's going there. So, quantum computing, database, Applied Digital, they're very much attached to that theme of the market right now, and they're running with the market as well. So, I mean, what an amazing time to be an investor, and what an amazing time to be an investor and see like plainly where the market is. Like I said, I run into people from time to time that are investors, and sometimes when I'm, people want to talk about the stock market. I can talk about the stock market all day, but sometimes when you're talking to someone, this may happen to you, someone sees the market completely different than what you do, which is fine. Not saying anybody has to agree with me or anything, but what I do see, though, I've ran into a few people over this year where I've been like, oh, they don't get it. They don't get what's going on in the market right now. I know a lot of people that pushed into retail more this year, where they were like, man, I'm buying Costco, I'm buying CVS, I'm buying Target, I'm buying all that stuff, because people are going to start having money again. And and people, a lot of people had like theories that with the tariffs coming in, like price rising will bring bigger quarterlies. I'm like, I don't know about that. Anyway, not working out that way. We're seeing tech get deeper and deeper in price zone here, and it's just getting more ridiculous, and big money's going after it, little money, medium money, it's all doing the same thing. So I think the market is on this course, and it's saying you can either go with us or follow along or go off on your own path, but we're going towards tech. That's where that's where the market's going right now. So, friends, listen, that's my brain. That's where I'm at with things, especially a lot of what I'm doing in the market right now. And listen, if you're investing in Costco and these other companies, there's nothing wrong with that. They're great companies. Well, I mean, some of them are taking some, CVS, Target. I would tell you to be careful there. They're taking some damage. But other ones, like Costco, that's a wonderful stock, wonderful company. But what I'm trying to say is that, these are kind of things that I think the market's going after, and we should look at as investors. Friends, I'm going to shut up now, and I wish all of you the best of luck, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.